Please welcome Mary Lester, Kids in Need Foundation board member and owner of our public relations firm and the executive director of the Kids in Need Foundation, Mr. Dave Smith.
Good evening. Mary and I are thrilled to welcome you to the Kids in Need Foundation's 19th annual gala. That seems hard to believe. This is our 19th annual gala. Since we're here tonight at US Bank Stadium, home of the Minnesota Vikings, that would be the 1-0 Minnesota Vikings, and host of the 2018 Super Bowl, it seems appropriate to choose as Kickoff to a Billion our theme for tonight's event. Many of you here this evening have supported the Kids in Need Foundation for years. We want to give you an update on the progress we've been able to achieve thanks to your support. Just over 10 years ago, the Kids in Need Foundation distributed $29 million worth of supplies to 1.3 million students across the country. As recently as 2011, the Kids in Need Foundation distributed $46 million worth of supplies to 2.2 million students. And in 2016, again, thanks for your continuing support, we distributed almost $130 million of supplies to more than 5.4 million students. Our goal is to get supplies to 10 million students on an annual basis by the year 2020. Since 1995, the Kids in Need Foundation has distributed more than $900 million of supplies across the country. With your help, we can reach this amazing number of $1 billion during the current school year. Think about that for a second. $1 billion is a lot of glue sticks, notebooks, crayons, and folders. Most of us here tonight, thankfully, did not go to school facing the burden of not having the basic classroom supplies. I'd like to give you an analogy that may help you understand what it's like for millions of boys and girls across the country who go to school every day without the basic supplies. Please take a moment to imagine that when we asked you to come tonight, when you accept that invitation, we sent you a list of what we wanted you to bring, and that list was very specific. 1 water glass, 1 wine goblet, 1 place setting of flatware, 1 place setting of dishware, and 1 linen napkin. The cost of those items would be $100. Sadly, your family could not justify spending that kind of money for those things. But you came here tonight anyway, without them. When you sat down at your table, because you were unable to bring those things with you, you could not eat the wonderful dinner that everyone else was enjoying, even though you were very hungry. Would you be embarrassed? Would you be angry? Would you just act like you didn't care? Would you get up from the table and wander around the room distracting others from the fact that you weren't eating? Would you have even wanted to come here tonight knowing that you would leave just as hungry as when you got here? And would you want to face that same situation 5 days a week for the next 9 months? Being left out is no fun, but there's more than fun at stake when children can't participate in the learning experience. If you think kids don't dream about having their own school supplies, you're wrong. Actually owning a notebook, a pencil, a glue stick is a well-thought-out fantasy for many students. And when we make these children's dreams come true, they're profound in their thanks to us. So we are most appreciative and grateful for all you've done, all you're here tonight, and what you've helped us accomplish over the last several years. You are helping us make a difference. Now please welcome Mary Lester, a member of the Kids in Need Foundation Board of Directors, owner of our PR firm. Mary has been extremely instrumental in our success and increased awareness over the last several years.
Thank you so much, Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here this evening to help us kick off to $1 billion. It is our hope that when you resume your daily lives post-gala, you will do so with a commitment to support our efforts to distribute $1 billion worth of school supplies by the end of this year. Donations of product, including pencils, crayons, folders, markers, paper, pens, glue, scissors, and rulers will be put on the shelves of Kids in Need Foundation resource centers within our network. Teachers will take these supplies back to their students who hunger to participate in the exciting activities of learning within the classroom. We know these supplies help students thrive both in and out of school. We are pleased this evening to welcome educators who use the items from our resource centers in their classrooms nationwide, and they engage students in participation that are only multiplied exponentially by their imaginations. Educators, please stand tonight and receive the appreciation that you deserve from our guests. Educators, thank you so much for all that you do every day. We're going to break for dinner now, but before we do that, we have a special treat for you this evening. To tell you all about it, please welcome Casey Avent, President of SMEAD.
Good evening. 5.4 million students, that's pretty impressive. I think we're on our track to reaching the goal in 2020, so that's thanks to everybody here. It's awesome. I'm excited to be here tonight on behalf of SMEAD, a longtime partner of the Kids in Need Foundation. Since 2000, we have been a financial partner of Kids in Need, donating more than $106,000 to date. In addition, we have provided Kids in Need with $2.7 million worth of classroom products, from folders to organizational tools, over the course of the last 13 years. At SMEAD, we are proud to make a difference by giving back to education and the students in need. Tonight, I have the honor to introduce a very special group of students from Life Prep School. This St. Paul, yeah, I think they're back there. This St. Paul Charter School strives to teach pre-kindergarten through 6th grade students in a family learning environment that embraces the core values of love, learn, achieve, and succeed. For more than 5 years, Life Prep teachers have been shopping for free school supplies at Twin Cities Kids in Need Resource Center. We are fortunate to have Life Prep staff here tonight, including the school's executive director, Leah Jones. Miss Leah taught 3rd grade and 4th grade at Life Prep for over 10 years. Now, entering her 2nd year as the school's director, she has been a longtime friend of Kids in Need. You may recognize her at past galas or from the Kids in Need 2014 spot on NBC Nightly News. Life Prep has been working hard, preparing a special song for us this evening. Please enjoy the choir while you eat your dinner, and please help me in welcoming on stage 5th and 6th grade choir students from Life Prep. Thank you.
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So I said quietly, agreed politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let you push me past the baking point. I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. You held me down, but I got up. Hey, already brushing off the dust. You hear my voice, you hear that sound. Black thunder gonna shake
Please welcome back to the podium, Mary Lester.
Thank you. One of the things that we are most proud of here at the Kids in Need Foundation is our long-term partnerships. A great illustration of this is our relationship with Joanne. Over the past 15 years, Joanne has donated tens of millions of dollars in product and more than $500,000 in cash. Tonight, we are proud to present the Kids in Need Foundation Outreach Gala Award to Joanne. Chris Tutulio, Senior Vice President of Marketing and Omnichannels, recorded a video for us to share a little bit about our program.
Hello, I'm Chris Tutulio, Senior Vice President of Marketing and Omnichannel here at Joanne. I'm sorry I couldn't be there this evening to accept this special award in person, but I did want to pass along my heartfelt thanks to Dave, Christine, and all of those at the Kids in Need Foundation. Joanne has been a proud partner of the Kids in Need Foundation for 15 years, and we have incredible respect for all the organization does to support teachers and students across all areas of the United States. We are honored to have worked with Kids in Need to develop a program that enables students and teachers to receive supplies no matter where they are in the country. Each month, all of Joanne's 867 stores donate supplies that go directly into local classrooms where students and teachers have the most need. Together, we've been able to contribute over $150 million in supplies to schools and classrooms in need since 2014. We know there is much work yet to be done, especially in light of recent events that have occurred across the country. Joanne, we remain proud to stand hand in hand with Kids in Need to do the work necessary to benefit teachers and students in those impacted areas. Once again, for this award this evening, thank you, and we look forward to many years to come.
This is truly such an amazing program. And now we want to welcome Amanda Hayes, Corporate Communications Manager for Joanne, to receive this Kids in Need Foundation Gala Outreach Award. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'll be brief and I'm not going to sing. So we just wanted to really thank everybody for being here tonight and thank you all for this award. It's truly an honor to be here and to receive it. We're so proud to work together to be making a difference for students and teachers across the nation. There's not a lot of groups that are making the impact that Kids in Need is, and particularly with such a lean team. So amazing work that you all are doing. Joanne was founded in the belief that with the right tools and inspiration, anybody in the world can create something really beautiful. Sorry. And like everybody in this room, we share the vision that with the right tools and inspiration, any student can learn and succeed. Through our national in-kind donation program, our stores are able to help those in their own communities, whether they're in Fairlawn, Ohio, or Fairbanks, Alaska. To our team members in 867 stores across the nation, that gives even more meaning to the work that we're doing together. We've been working with Kids in Need for 15 years, but the people and the mission of this organization inspire us every day. The past few weeks highlight exactly why this mission must continue. We're honored to continue to pursue this shared mission, and we look forward to even greater things ahead, and thank you again.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Now please welcome back to the podium, Dave Smith.
Last year, the Kids in Need Foundation helped nearly 200,000 teachers by ensuring their students had the basic supplies to thrive in the classroom. We know that the boys and girls in today's classrooms across the country are the leaders of tomorrow, and we're fortunate across the country to meet some amazing educators who are dedicating their lives to bringing knowledge and opportunity to their students. We recently met Elaine Nevers-Williams at the Atlanta Public Schools Back to School Bash with our friends from Newell Brands. This was an exciting day where more than 5,000 backpacks were distributed to students. We were inspired by Elaine as her passion, commitment to students, and helping those less fortunate was so obvious. She spent her Saturday handing out backpacks to ensure that her and other students were prepared to start the new school year. We're thrilled she is joining us tonight to talk about what school supplies mean to her students at Peyton Forest Elementary School. Elaine?
Good evening. My name is Elaine Evers Williams, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I am the fourth of 6 children born to Reuben and William Nevers in New Orleans, Louisiana. Upon returning from the military, my father decided that New Orleans was too fast-paced, so he decided to move us to southeastern part of Louisiana on the bayou. Living along the bayou was fun for me. Growing up, I could catch my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner with a nail, a string, a tree branch, and a piece of meat. But you know, my parents thought that it should be more than that. So they told us that we were obligated to go to school. So each one of my siblings has a college degree. My parents were hard workers. Both of them had full-time jobs. And during that time, that was hard. But they worked it out where my mom worked during the day and my father worked in the evening. So we always had someone at home with us. My first experience with sharing the gift of giving besides my family was this little old lady coming into our neighborhood. She had a big blue bus. And once a month during the summertime, she would read to us, and you would hear a speaker saying, "Come, come, come, my dears. I'm ready to read, and so you can cheer." So when the bus pulled up to our neighborhood, you heard swish, and we all would run. We could be out in the neighborhood playing softball or anything, but when we heard the bus, the singing, the cheering that she would do over the intercom, we would rush to the bus. She had us lined up. She let the older kids got on first because, you know, they can read better. But the kids my age was 5 and 6 years old. She would allow us to sit in. She would read us stories, and every time she'd come back, it was a chapter book. She would make sure we were ready to hear the ending of the story. Well, once I matriculated to middle school, one day one of my teachers said it was a shame that Miss Jenny had passed. I said, okay. And so I knew who it was because she has been coming to my neighborhood since I was 5 years old. And I went home, and I told my mom, and she said, Miss Jenny Knoll was an awesome lady. I was later to find out that this lady was a retired school teacher. Her husband purchased a bus for her, and she would go to the neighboring schools and pick up books and all kinds of school supplies and bring it over to my side of the town. And I couldn't understand it at the time, but now I know it's almost similar, like Kids in Need. She made sure that we had books, papers, pencils, and everything. Excuse me, I'm kind of nervous. And her name was Miss Lucy Juno, and you know, everybody knew her as a saint. An opportunity, she told us that, dare to dream. And I never forgot that, so I made a promise that when I got older, I would give back like Miss Lucy June Knoll gave to us. I later matriculated to college. I became an educator by obtaining a BA degree in education, a minor in special education, behavior disorders, an MA in early childhood, EDS in leadership. Okay, I'm gonna stop right now. That's a whole lot of stuff. But I look forward to going to school because she put it in my mind. Thank you so kindly, you know I'm nervous. I'm sorry. Presently working on my doctorate degree, which I am working on my doctorate degree in leadership. I am so proud. I am so proud to say that every summer I go home and work for a nonprofit organization to help struggling students during the summer. Thank you, Ms. Lucy June. It was an awesome person. Now let me tell you, I want to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, which is kids in needs. I came to Atlanta in the early 80s, and I didn't start teaching at that year, but when I did start teaching, I didn't have any supplies or anything, and I was new to my school system, and I saw this teacher was getting out of a car with a lot of tools and things, and I didn't want to be nosy, so I stopped and asked her, do you want some help? And when I did that, she said yes. And I said, yeah. So I said, well, where did you get all of these stuff? She said, you didn't know? You don't know where you got these school supplies from? And I said, no. She said, Kids in Need. Never heard of Kids in Need. As I said earlier, I had just moved from Louisiana. So when I happened to inside of a classroom, she explained to me, all you needed to do was sign up, you go to the location, and it would give you the things that you need for your classroom. So what I did, it was so exciting. I noticed, as I said, I noticed that the teacher was giving out supplies, and I can understand how in the world did you get these supplies? But it did. It was through Kids in Need, a nonprofit organization. So like I said, I made an appointment, went in, and at the end of the day, my God, Kids in Need has supplied me with so many things that I was able to benefit a class of 28 students. But get this, the child went home, okay. One of my students went home. I came back and the next day I went and put all the supplies on the kids' desk. But one of my parents came back and said to me that I came to apologize to you why your child stolen from me. And I said, no, he didn't. She thought that the child had stolen my supplies, which indeed, Kids in Need had gave me all the supplies. And she sat down and she said, how in the world could someone furnish something for a whole school system? But he did. Kids in Need allowed me to furnish stuff for 28 students that year. And it was awesome. And the mother was so excited that she came back the next year to volunteer at our school and everything. But the most rewarding thing was this year. Kids in Need gave out over 5,000 book bags. And we worked diligently, and then I think about 5 or 10, 15 minutes into the session, a child came up to me, and it's been about 20 years now, and he asked me, say, aren't you Ms. Nevers, please? And I said, yes. And I really didn't recognize him, but then when I turned around, I screamed and I cried. I noticed, oh my God, this was the same child that I had in the second grade who mom thought he had stolen from me. This child, excuse me. I tell you, this child, he explained to me, he said, remember the year that he didn't even remember the name of the organization, but I reminded him it was Kids in Need. He reminded me that year that his family got stuff he never thought he would have. And he got a drawing tablet, guys. And right now, this baby is in Tuskegee Institute as an architect. All because Kids in Need, out of kindness of their hearts, gave out supplies to this teacher in one of the Atlanta public school system. But guys, it just don't stop there. Kids in Need has done so much for me. It has a multiplicity of things I can say, but I'm probably too emotional. But when the organization came into the system, there was no hold bars. There was nothing that they would not do for us. And it was so simple. You sign up, you go, and you get the stuff. Could you imagine how hard it is, taking my glasses, for a parent to have children and not to be able to supply anything for them? And this is how it is really now. And so when the kids were coming into the stadium, they were thanking us and thanking the Kids in Need organization for just doing stuff that they never thought they'd have. It is hard for parents, single parents, or even parents that has two parents. It's hard to have supplies. You have to pay your bill. You have to keep a roof over your head. So when it comes down to buying supplies, it's hard. So you make a choice. Either I'm going to pay this bill, either I'm going to pay, I'm sorry, I'm just nervous. Either you're going to pay this bill, you're going to pay a car note, you're going to pay a mortgage, or you're going to buy supplies for your child. So it's a hard choice to make. But Kids in Need has made it so easy for every child in the state of Georgia. Every child gets pencil, paper, anything that they need. And it's hard because a lot of our parents, a lot of our parents will say they would not know how to make it without Kids in Need fulfilling the dream and keeping the dream alive by supplying the students with everything they need. Because it's hard to be in a system and not have anything, guys. I can say so much. It's a wonderful thing to have support of people like Kids in Need. It's just so simple to say, but it's really true. Kids in Need has opened up a lot of doors for our family members to get things. It's just an awesome thing. And Dave and his organization, I just want to my hat's off to you, because I don't know what my students and other students in the school system would do without these items. I know some people think it's easy to have some things, but it's not at all, guys. I mean, I work with kids every day who come to school with just a pencil and a paper, and I would ask them, where are your materials? And they would say, my mom said, when I get the money. You know how hard it is to see your other classmates have stuff on the table, and you can't get it, and it's easy. Kids in Need make it much more easier, less embarrassing for the students and everything. So my hat's off to Kids in Need and the organization for helping the parents of Atlanta to not to worry about one small thing and getting supplies. Love you guys. Sorry for being nervous.
Nine years ago, I moved to Minnesota from Michigan in hopes of finding a teaching job where I could make a difference. I was looking for a challenge, and what I found was Life Prep. Truth be told, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It was perfect. I was working late one night painting my classroom when the custodian started up a conversation with me. All the usual questions came up. Where are you from? What brought you to Minnesota? How many years have you been teaching? And then I was asked the question that has changed how I see every part of my job. He asked, so why don't you get a job teaching in a real school? I didn't have an answer at the time, but I have one now. My job at Life Prep doesn't get any more real. Real is only 1 out of every 4 of my students will graduate from high school. Real is the fight I broke up in the bathroom and the 3rd grader's dinner I packed every night for 2 years so that she had something to eat at home. Real is the little girl who called me at 3 in the morning asking me to come pick her up off the street, and the boy who sleeps on the floor every night so his little sister can have the bed. Real is also the Thanksgiving dinners that I share with my students at my home, a class dinner to celebrate Christmas, and trips to the ice cream store, and endless hugs and laughs. But the best is seeing the change in my students and how they see themselves and what they can achieve. I want my students to know I see them as real people who deserve all these things and more. I want them to know the feeling of earning an A through hard work and giving it all they have. I need them to have the tools to do that. Kids in Need puts those tools in my students' hands. My students never have to worry about having pencils or paper. All the basics are taken care of. On top of that, Kids in Need has given us so much more than just the basics. We have watercolors for our Van Gogh night, jump ropes for recess, blankets to lie on for our readathons, and all sorts of awesome things I can use as rewards in my classroom. I do teach in a real school. I have real students with real needs, and I choose to teach at Life Prep because there are endless possibilities everywhere I look. Kids in Need makes it possible for me to help my students see possibilities they never knew were there. Thank you, Kids in Need, for making a difference in my classroom and the lives of my students.
There it is, $25. Who knew that this could lead to Tuskegee, college degrees, jobs, peace of mind that they know they have the pencils and papers just like the other kids have. The fact that they have a chance to live and learn and feel good about themselves. That's what this is about. The backpack program, $25. That's nothing. Because you know, what does $25 look like? What does one kid look like with a backpack? One kid. What does 2 kids look like? $50. 4, that's $100. What do 16 kids look like? What do 100 kids look like? What do 1,000 kids look like? We'd like to do 1 billion up there, but it'd just be a bunch of dots. But for those of you who have not been here before, this is a very cool time right now. This is where we're going to ask you to take your little bid number that you got on the little thing, or take it off your name tag, and I'm going to ask you to make a commitment, to make a straight donation to this backpack program right here. Now, I'm going to start high. I don't want you to freak out, okay? Unless y'all want to come in at that, and then I know it's free beer, but I'll buy some more. Then we're going to work our way down. But here's the deal. For every $25, it changes a child's life. I mean, that's the easiest investment a person can do.
That's another $1,000. Kurt, thank you so much. You know, one of the things we do the night after the gala as a staff, we all get together tomorrow morning for breakfast. And if we've had a good night, we usually have some mimosas with breakfast, to be honest with you. I think we probably will tomorrow. You know, kind of a dangerous question to ask at a podium like this is, because this is a new venue for us, as most of you know here tonight, is, did it work? Did you have a good time tonight? Seriously, thank all of you for your continuing support. We can't do what we do every day without all of you here. We'd also be remiss if we didn't special thanks to our terrific event team. Janet and the entire Twirl team make this happen every year for us, and they always seem to exceed expectations. One final thank you from me to all the educators in the room. Again, you're so valuable to what we all do every day. Thank you all so much. Mary?
Thank you, Dave. Well, the party is definitely not over. I have good news. The bar will now reopen. And while you're over here, make sure to pick up one of the 99 bottles of beer on the wall for a $25 donation to take home a craft beer. We also want you to enjoy our dessert reception in the back of the room. Please do not forget to pick up your silent auction items, and one of my favorite parts of the evening is the gift bag, so don't forget to leave with one of those, and also one of the shakers on your table. Thank you so very much, and we will see you all again next year.